Here we are in week 3, day 4. Passage we're studying this morning is Joshua chapter 4, verses 9 through 13. And I want to bring up something you might have missed. Sometimes we miss the obvious thing. I want to point out a phrase that's easily overlooked. It's in verse 10. It tells us that the priests carrying the ark across the Jordan River as they enter into the promised land stay in the middle of the Jordan. Verse 10 says, until all, key word, all of the Lord's commands are carried out. Sometimes, I do anyways, I'm guessing you do too, we act confused when it seems like God's not protecting us. He's not taking our side. He's not helping us out against our enemies, whether it's us personally or our nation or our people or whatever. But I want you to note here, the key word is God saying, no, you have to submit to all my commands. Moses got cut from the team. He didn't get to enter the promised land because he broke one minor command that God gave them. Look at Leviticus 26, verse 3. It says, you'll dwell in the land safely. You'll have peace in the land. The sword will not go through the land. You'll chase your enemies. In fact, it even uses the phrase, 100 of you will put 10,000 to flight. Sounds amazing, right? And many people are disappointed when they don't feel like God's putting their enemies to flight. But I want you to not forget, the beginning of Leviticus 26:3 says, if you walk in my statutes and keep my commands. All my commands. Now, I want you to hear me here. I'm not suggesting God stops forgiving us, because we'll blow a lot of them. I'm also not suggesting that he'll stop loving us or change his covenant towards us. I just mean that God's hand of protection, his putting our enemies to flight, is dependent upon that little word, all. So, are you disappointed that God's not protecting you, but you're not really submitted to all his commands? God's word is clear.